First time going live on YouTube. We gonna see what this thing all about. I don't even know how many live viewers I'm gonna get. Previously, I've been streaming on Facebook where I have a pretty large audience and direct connection with the viewers, and I just download it and upload the videos here. This is episode 2, technically the third episode because I started with episode 0 of Sobriety, the Dirt on Being Clean. And in this episode, the topic is going to be honesty, the importance of honesty, and why honesty is the most important single aspect of being sober. And people might not understand like exactly what that means and what rigorous honesty entails. And what's up, my boy? And what it means to be rigorously honest and why it's so important. And that's not just being hyperbolic, it's 100% mandatory, or else, really, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Those who are not those who are constitutionally incapable of being honest are the only people that the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps do not work for, no matter what. And the only way they have 100% success if you put your all into it and you're honest. You know what I mean? If you are rigorously honest, hold yourself accountable, surround yourself with other people that are working a spiritually based program that will hold you accountable, the program never fails. Every single person who relapses is not working a rigorous program and is slipping into dishonesty in a bunch of different ways. And that's just a simple facts. People want to look at the numbers. The success rate of being sober of trying to get sober is very, very low. It's something like 5% or less than 5% of all people that go to treatment remain sober. So I think between 2 and 5%. So that means out of 100 people, 3 maybe are remaining sober. Out of my sober community thus far, of the 50 people I went through with, almost half of them have already relapsed. And I've only been out of treatment for 2 months, less than 2 months. I've been sober for, according to my app, a really good app, by the way, to fuck with for keeping track of your sobriety. It's called My Spiritual Toolkit. Recommend that 100%. You could do 10-step nightly inventory on there. Download that app. It's on point and it'll keep track. So I'm like 5.76 months sober, just shy of 6 months. And the majority, a lot of people that I went to treatment with are already using, and it's a lot of them I never would have guessed. And the thing is, like, when you're in treatment, there's a lot of people that work that seem like they're working really rigorous programs and are not making any mistakes. That's not necessarily the best barometer for success. That's not the way to gauge. Like, if you're not breaking any rules, it's the number one thing is honesty. And I notice a common thread of all the people that I've seen relapse, they were not being honest. Like, I would break rules sometimes when I was in treatment. I would mess up. I would, like, there's a lot of strict rules of the treatment I was at, but I would eat in areas where you're not supposed to eat, or smoke cigarettes when you're not supposed to do that, or just little dishonesties. But here's the thing, I would hold myself accountable, and when I was asked about it, I wouldn't try to hide and try to deceive, because that deception, and if I would then correct the behavior quickly, because not doing that's the way you get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, for example, let me think of it got so crazy that you weren't allowed to hoard snacks. You weren't allowed to take snacks back to your room in the treatment center that I was at, and I would do it regardless. You know what I mean? I would put them in my jacket pocket in the closet. I would put fruit snacks and Quest bars in there because other people would snatch them up. I wanted to make sure I had a nice supply. So what I would do, get my stash on, and then I would hold myself accountable. Sometimes when we would be circling up before groups or before dinner time, they'd be like, does anyone want to get honest? There's a really dope counselor there. This dude named Jeb. He's one of my favorite. This good old boy from Georgia, type of dude that I never would have thought that I would have been liked so much, because he's the antithesis of the type of people that I hang out with normally. But he would say with his with some cha in his lip, he'd be like, "Does anybody want to get honest? Does anybody want to get honest?" And I'd be like, "Hey, I've been stashing candy." And that might seem trivial, but that's preparing you for the bigger dishonesties to come. And since I got out of treatment, I think my saving grace is being honest about everything, and most importantly, being emotionally honest, because it's really easy to just be like, "I'm fine. How you doing, Nick?" "Oh, I'm fine. I'm chilling. I'm chilling." But in reality, I'm upset about this, and that. And things that might seem petty, things that might seem insignificant. Like when Marissa will come at me and ask me how I'm doing. Like, she could obviously see through me. She could see right through me, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, like something's up with this guy. Something's not right. What's going on?" And I would know, "No, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm perfectly playing things off." And something that a lot of, like I said, a lot of the guys that relapsed already, that were seemingly working flawless programs, they were just so concerned about, I'm going to answer your question in a minute. It's a good question. People are so concerned about maintaining this image, this pristine image, that they're working a great program, that their sobriety is so on point, that, that because they want to get out soon, and they want their parents or their wives or their husbands or their whatever loved ones just out. They want to maintain this perception that they're doing great, when the reality is they're not, and they're holding things in that would wind up. Those little dishonesties, and what that kicks into gear, the mental obsession, and the mental obsession is part of the three-part cycle of addiction that leads you into using. The mental obsession, like a relapse doesn't start with you snorting a line or pouring a shot or rolling a blunt. Your relapse starts with subtle dishonesties, which lead you to not feeling some type of way about your program. Then the next step is you're slacking in your work. You're not maintaining conscious contact. You're not praying. You're not meditating. You're not going to meetings as much. You're not talking to your sponsor. You're not doing your nightly reviews. You're not utilizing all the tools that you were taught. And then the next step after that is you start thinking about using. And instead of putting yourself on blast and holding yourself accountable for those thoughts, what do you wind up doing? Well, next thing you know, you're on your way to the LIQ, buying a bottle, or you see something. That's when you're susceptible to triggers, because we're all susceptible to triggers. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is this, and this is a cold reality. Like, I am going to use. It's not a matter of if I'm going to relapse. It's a matter of when. And the only thing that's going to prevent me from relapsing is if I am rigorously honest, is if I engage in service work and help my fellow addicts stay sober, and as if I just continue to work my program. If I don't do that, I'm going to use. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody that uses is because they're not doing something right. You know what I mean? Like, I can't continue to use externals to stay sober. I can't use validation from fans. I can't use validation from Marissa, from my family, from, whatever it is, whatever I'm finding validation from. People find validation from women, or if you're, or from men, or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't work. What keeps you sober is your relationship with your higher power. And that honesty is required for that. So the three-part cycle of addiction, the mental obsession, and then once you use, that's when this physical allergy kicks in. All of us that are drug addicts or alcoholics, we are allergic to it. There's a reason why a normal person can have a couple drinks or even get faded and have a great night out and then wake up the next day and not crave getting loaded again. I don't have that luxury. I don't have that luxury, the dubious luxury. I don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm physically allergic to drugs and alcohol, to all mind altering substances. So once I use, I go right back to whatever I was doing before when I was using. And then the third part of the three-step cycle of addiction is the spiritual malady. That's the hole in your soul, the God-sized hole, which in reality, almost all human beings have the spiritual malady to a certain degree. Those of us, again, who have addictive tendencies, who are drug addicts, we have it to a much higher degree. It's much more destructive and winds up butting us in the ass a lot quicker. You know what I mean? Like a shark in the toilet. And there's really nothing that we can do about it except for, instead of filling that hole with drugs and alcohol, we can fill that hole with God. If you don't believe in God, you know what I'm saying? There's the universe, there's meditation, there's being a good person, being of service, whatever you want to call it. I'm not here preaching on a religious basis, although having spirituality, I couldn't imagine being sober without having some form of spirituality or meditation or something like that. I can't see it working. So I need to constantly, when people ask me how I'm doing, things that I would normally like, just in the past, I would have been like, oh, I'm cool because I want to maintain this image that things aren't bothering me, but I need to speak on it. I need to put myself on blast. I need people to be like, I need to be able to process the feelings. And that's when I hear the universe talk back. That's when I hear the voice of God talking back to me and being like, through my brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Through my lady. That's when I hear, like, that's when God will speak to me through those other people, when I'm putting myself on blast about what I'm feeling, even if it's embarrassing, even if it seems, you know, petty and insignificant. The fact of the matter is it's not, because those are the things that are going to wind up making me relapse. Something so petty, that's how it starts, you know what I mean? Think about, it's like the butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps his wings in Buenos Aires and it causes a hurricane in Lithuania. I'm pretty sure there's not hurricanes in Lithuania, but you know what I'm saying. That's literally the chain of events, the molecules being moved around. It starts so far before that with something seemingly insignificant. So I need to nip that in the bud right there and make sure that it never gets to that point with me, and stay and keep it 100% honest. If I feel angry or some type of resentment towards friends of mine because I feel like they're playing me off, or I'm jealous of them because they get loaded and I don't, or I'm mad that I didn't get enough likes on this video, or you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it could be something so small like that. But if I don't speak about that, then that's when it winds up leading. Because, like, the thing is this, being rigorously honest is now an instinct for me. Whereas in the past, it used to be the other way around. I was a pathological liar by nature, to the point where if you asked me, is it hot outside? And I said, oh no, yeah, it's beautiful. It's 95 degrees. You might as well go ahead and grab a jacket. Go ahead and grab a Montclair parka, put it on, because I'm lying to you. 100%, no matter what it is, I just would lie about everything. You know what I mean? Big, small, short, tall. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? And now, and the other thing is, like, progress, not perfection. I'm a human being. I still, because of all those years of being Pinocchio, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was me for so long. I'm a real boy now. But that was me for so long that I'll still pop into those tendencies. And the important thing is, and the thing is this, now lies taste like it tastes like anchovies left in the sun for 10 days now. When a lie comes out of my mouth, it smells like homeless crotch. It tastes like it. You know what I mean? Like that's literally, it doesn't, it feels wrong intrinsically. So, but I'll need to hold myself accountable. When I slip up on that, I'll need to catch myself and speak on it. so other people hear me. You know what I mean? And then if I feel so unburdened. But my instinct now is not to lie. And that's a huge difference. And such a common part of the addict brain and mentality is is lying and manipulating and trying to present a reality that's just not true. You know what I mean? That doesn't exist. That benefits me. And that I think benefits me, but really in the end is keeping me sick. And if the web of lies that we spin, in that web of lies, a false sense of security is literally the silk fabric that the spider is using to weave the web. You know what I mean? That is the foundation of the web of lies and deception right there. Is a false sense of security. And and just tapping in to that lizard brain. The brain of a lizard. What does a lizard think about? A lizard's brain, a reptile's brain is driven only on survival instincts. That's it. Eat, kill, procreate. You know what I mean? Like defend. There's no there's not a higher capacity of brain function going on right there. Reptiles are incapable of it. And when I'm in my addiction, I'm operating on that same frequency. I'm not thinking about long term stability. I'm not thinking about how my actions, how my lies affect other people. I'm not operating from a place of compassion and love with my fellow man and woman. No. You know what I mean? That's far out the window and it don't exist. So even little things like, oh, is that phone case real Louis Vuitton? In the past, I'd be like, hell yeah. Oh yeah, you know I'm drippy, I'm stunting. But now, what does it matter if my phone case is real Louis Vuitton or not? It's corny. In fact, it's stupid to spend $600 on a phone case, but that's a whole other topic. You know what I mean? Like, that's another seeking validation and gratification, you know what I mean, on some corniness. But that outside, like, being like, nah, it's not. It feels so much better being honest, and it's then you not living with and harboring that unnecessary guilt, which inevitably leads you back to the mental obsession and using. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I've been able to stay sober thus far. And other people that I went through treatment haven't been able to. People that you might have thought, if you saw us all, if there's a reality show of all of us in treatment, you might have thought some of them were going to do better than me. You know what I mean? And I know it's not a competition. It's not a race. And that's actually something that I had to hold myself accountable. That's one of the things I had to be honest about the other day, and I spoke about this in a meeting. I'll bring my own anonymity, not anybody else's. But I literally was almost getting, instead of being blatantly upset when other people would relapse, I'm getting like a little rush about it because it's making me feel good. Like I'm validated. I'm better than you because you relapsed and you're a bigger junkie than me and I'm doing better than you. And that's wrong right there. That's my ego because that's not what it's all about. This is not a competition whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like, and that's me operating from a place of vanity, insecurity, and ego right there, which will keep me sick as well. You know what I mean? That will keep me sick 100% of the time. What's up, Riggs? But and the only way that I'm going to circumvent that is if I put myself on blast. And now everybody that sees this video will know that I still have this sickness and I still have these tendencies which are going to make me relapse if I don't put them on blast and don't hold myself accountable. Because what do I do when I do that? I'm taking the power away from it. But if, like I said before, if you were watching a video or like a reality show of all of us in treatment, you wouldn't have thought that necessarily I was going to be the one to make it and remain sober. But the fact that I am is because of this level of honesty, this standard of honesty that I'm holding myself to, which is so different from my usual modus operandi. And that right there means that I can't engage in the entire criminal world and selling dope or you know what I mean? Things like that, because I cannot. Me lying, and I'm not saying that I'm always going to be honest with the police, because, you know, I don't rock with the police. It is what it is. I don't care. Like, I'm still who I am. That's never gonna change. But so I don't have to cross that bridge, I don't even put myself around illegal activity to that extent. Yeah, do I have some homies that do what they do? It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not finna speak on that regardless, but I don't put myself in those situations as to where that's going to be an issue. I was asked a question earlier: am I back in LA? Am I going back to LA? Of course, I'm going to go back to LA. Born and raised, Marissa and I plan on living out there eventually, but not for a while. I'm still in sober living. I'm gonna be leaving sober living in a couple weeks and doing outpatient program, intensive outpatient, back in Philadelphia. And if I'm not doing Philadelphia, and if I'm not doing that, I'm going to be making sure that I'm getting mandatory urinalysis a couple times a week and keeping myself holding myself accountable to myself and my brothers and sisters in recovery. And I got some big goals on the table. Marissa told me when I was in treatment that if I got to get a year sober, that she will get married and have kids with me, and that's been a huge goal of mine for a long time. The fact of the matter is, I'm not supposed to use that as motivation to be sober. I'm supposed to find that within myself. But things like that do help. I'm not gonna front. So obviously, being around Marissa, she ain't finna allow me to use, and that's just a fact. And I'm living with her. She ain't finna allow me to use. Of course, I will be back in the battle scene. It's something that is a part of me. And the thing is this: there's not too much going on in battle rap. I work for King of the Dot. I work with Ruin Your Day. I'm not in a rush to get back into it right now. It's more important for me to take care of myself. But yes, 100%, I'll be making a return to battle rap. I'm putting out music pretty soon on this very channel. My video for my next single, "For and a Baby," produced by Marv One, is dropping very soon. Stay tuned for that. You know what I mean? I know most of y'all watching right now are subscribers. And if you're not, click the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and a like and a share. You know what I'm saying? Working this spiritually based program. Yes, I will continue to host battles. Have some crazy ideas for some events I'd like to curate and help push battle rap to the next level. Been talking in great detail extensively on a regular basis with Organic. He's one of the people that I've been the closest with, before and after I got sober. And him and I have a great relationship. He's my brother. Love that dude very much. And we've been talking about some crazy things that I think people are going to get really excited about. For me to be fully immersed in battle rap culture right now would probably be not the most conducive to my sobriety. What I have seen though, like the moments from that Tay-Rock and Daylight battle and what URL has been doing, and the Ruin Your Day battles on the rooftop have all been very inspiring and very, very dope. You know what I mean? Appreciate everyone's support. It means a lot to me. Honesty though is like it is the fundamental building block to recovery and the most important aspect of my sobriety, and I think pretty much anyone else's. Even little things that I would do to inflate my ego, like certain lies that I would have for years, lies about women, lies about the amount of drugs I consume, this or that, facades that I was keeping up for decades of my life. I had to shatter. You know what I mean? It's a good question. Have you lost friends since you've been sober? Well, I hate to say it. I think the answer to that is yes. You know what I mean? Like, the people that are my best friends, pretty much all of them, with only a couple exceptions, have been very, very supportive and all in and riding hard with me. Even my friends that are using and still doing their thing, we're still like best homies in that. But yes, I have the sad reality. The reality is I have lost friends since I've gotten sober, and that's a part of it. And I would love to have that's another example of me having to hold myself accountable and be honest. Because when you ask that question, the first thing I wanted to do is be like, no, I haven't. But I've been actually struggling right now. One of my closest friends, And it's like little things like people want when all I'm trying to do is exude positive energy and be this beacon of hope and light. And not everybody's gonna react well to that. Even if I'm not being preachy, even if I'm not being sanctimonious or doing my best not to be, and maintaining the personality, the carefree, funny, laid back dude, energetic yet laid back dude that I've always been, trying to keep that vibe cracking, but still not everybody's gonna resonate with it. Some people liked me because they like or like following me because they like seeing the disarray. They like seeing the shit show that was my life. You know what I mean? And that's sad to say, but it's true. Like, people liked seeing that. And when I wasn't presenting that anymore, they didn't want to watch. They literally were watching for my self destruction. And I get it because I watch people self-destruct on YouTube, and on a voyeuristic level, I get off on it too. And I think, sadly, I was an example that a lot of people were watching for that exact reason. They liked seeing the cringe. They liked seeing the dysfunction, and they got off on that. And when that was gone, there's not too much appeal in seeing me. Not everybody likes a triumph for the human spirit. Not everybody likes a good comeback. They don't like the redemption. To me, the mark of a warrior is not how many fights he wins, it's how he gets up off the canvas. Now, a lot of people just like to see people get catered. They like to see people get knocked out. They don't like to see that, and some people are like, when they see you doing well, it's a reflection of their own insecurities because they're not doing well and they don't exude that light. You know what I mean? And some of them might be resentful because they might think that I'm full of shit. They might have known me for years as being this dishonest dude and moving a certain way. And they're used to me operating in this certain manner. So when I'm not meeting that expectation of, they think I'm being disingenuous. And I can't blame them for that because I've done nothing but portray this image of the way I was for so many years. And I think my strength of character is always, I feel like internally, my strength of character has always been so strong that it would bleed through regardless. And even when I was being disingenuous, I would still, the, the trillness of my nature, for lack of a better word, would still shine. But the fact of the matter is, not every self can't see self at the end of the day. So I don't know why. It hurts me greatly. It's something that's been bothering the hell out of me, especially in the past 24 hours. Because I have had friends in the past 24 hours like, why would I don't even understand why somebody who was supporting me when I was in the mud and now that I'm out the mud, why don't they want to rock with me anymore? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they? But you know what I mean? Self can't see self. I'm obviously exuding some type of energy which is rubbing them the wrong way, whether that's because I'm doing right or because I'm doing wrong or I've done so much wrong and I'm now doing right and it just feels uncomfortable. Whatever the reason is, I have to give that up to God. I pray. I pray literally as we speak, praying and thanking God because I pray in the present tense. I don't pray like, please give me this. I pray, thank you for giving me this because that's a form of manifestation. You know what I mean? Thank you for bestowing this upon me. Thank you for allowing me to feel acceptance and being present in the present moment. You know what I mean? Accepting the things I cannot change and the way people feel about me and this or that and me being cool with that. There being questions that I don't have answers to. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to know the answer to every question. I'm not going to be able to figure out. There's going to be mysteries in my life. You know what I mean? Why did this person do me wrong? Well, guess what? There's probably a bunch of people out there that wonder why I did them wrong when they trusted me and I scammed them and I finessed them and I hurt them and I lied to them. So, hey, it's a part of it is just the universe coming back to me. You know what I mean? And that's just it. You know what I mean? Damn. Much love, man. Much love to everybody. What's up, Red Eye? It's my dog. Appreciate all y'all, man. This is my first time going live. Again, this is the third part of my series. Any final questions before I dip? I hope I've expressed how, babe, do you feel like I've spoken on? Is there anything I'm leaving out as far as the importance of rigorous honesty in working a spiritually based recovery program?
I think you spoke very eloquently on the subject, and I don't think you could have said it any better.
Perfecto, my jit. Thank you, babe. We got the Marissa seal of approval. You know what I'm saying? So that's enough for me. Anybody that's struggling and wants help being led in the right direction towards a path of recovery, I'm always here for all y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always here to answer any questions that you got. Again, subscribe to the channel, like, comments, share this. You know what I mean? Some people might need to see it. And stay tuned for more content like this, as well as my music and videos and all that. Foreigner Baby, produced by Marv One, off the Hyams album, LA Noir Audio Cinema, dropping soon. Much love, y'all, and we out.